Your best people rarely leave on the day they resign. That's right. They don't leave on the day they resign. They leave slowly, one delayed decision at a time. It could be about one idea that goes nowhere. And it could be one more meeting about the meeting that apparently required another meeting. They still show up and they still answer emails and they may even smile on Zoom.
It was the worst year for a lot of us for our mental as well as physical health. So joining us this morning is best-selling author, coach Lisa Goldenthal.
Hello and welcome. I'm Lisa G, your host. You're at the top of your game, yet the game is changing faster than ever. Strategies that got you here aren't the ones that'll keep you here. The pressure is relentless, and the fear of obsolescence looms large. That's why I'm here. Welcome to the new podcast series, Disrupted: How to Be Gritty and Unlock Performance in Business, Mindset, Wellness, and Success to help you master disruption.
Thanks for coming, and I'll see you soon.
And today's topic is the quiet high performer crisis. So this is just about your best employee might be getting quieter and you might not even see it yet. Not because you don't care, but because most high performers don't make a scene. They adjust, they compensate, they keep showing up until one day they don't. So let's take a quick poll. Whether you're here live or on the replay, type A if you feel confident your best person would tell you if they were unhappy, and type B if honestly you're not completely sure. I see those B's all the time. And by the way, B doesn't mean you're a bad leader, obviously. It means you're leading humans. And us humans are complicated, especially the capable ones. Because your best people rarely leave on the day they resign. That's right. They don't leave on the day they resign. They leave slowly, one delayed decision at a time. It could be about one idea that goes nowhere. And it could be one more meeting about the meeting that apparently required another meeting. They still show up and they still answer emails and they may even smile on Zoom. But somewhere along the way, they just stop trying to make things better. So this is how it plays out. I worked with a CEO who had one of those franchise players, the person, when something went wrong, everybody said, "Thank God we have her." She was smart, fast, and deeply committed. At first, she challenged the bad decisions. She brought ideas. She asked the hard questions. Then she started getting quieter. And nobody ignored her on purpose. Nobody woke up and said, "Let's slowly drain the life out of one of our best employees." It doesn't work that way. That is not how it happens. The company was growing, the leaders were busy, the approvals multiplied, the meetings multiplied, That's right, the meetings multiplied, and the good intentions stayed. They were still there. It's just that the movement disappeared. A few months later, her answers became, whatever you think is best. Trust me. Whatever is actually bad in all relationships. Can you relate? Whatever. People thought she was becoming easier to work with. She wasn't easier to work with. She had emotionally moved to a cabin somewhere, and she was even naming the chickens. Let me know if you can relate to emotionally leaving. Anybody else? By month 8, she just resigned. And the CEO was genuinely stunned. Not careless, not cold, stunned. Because the warning signs didn't look like warning signs at all. They looked like cooperation. And that, my friends, is why this is so easy to miss. You can miss the warning signs because they're subtle. Now, you can go search on how to retain top talent, and you'll actually get the same advice. Recognize them more, pay them more, run an engagement survey. Because nothing says we see you like a 40-question form from HR, which actually feels like more work. Recognition matters and money matters, but neither one can fix a system where good people are slowly losing the room to move. It's every decision they cannot make creates more friction. Every approval they wait for adds more friction. Every idea that gets delayed adds more friction. Nobody actually meant to create it, but friction compounds. And eventually, your best people stop pushing, not because they stop caring, just because caring started to feel expensive. And that is the friction tax. And your strongest people often pay it first. Gallup actually found that 45% of voluntary leavers said no manager or leader proactively discussed their satisfaction, performance, or future during their final 3 months. And again, this is not because leaders do not care. I know you care. It's just because the urgent things are loud. Your best people usually not so much. Because we track the weekly revenue. We track the expenses daily. And some of us even track our phone battery like it's a medical condition. But the future of a strong employee can stay invisible until the exit interview. So think of one person on your team who has gotten quieter this year. Obviously, don't type their name. Just type quieter if a face came to mind. I want to hear from you guys. Because that doesn't mean they're leaving. It just means they need a better conversation. And that, my friends, is the good news. Because conversations are fixable. So let's jump into a simple way to start. I call it the ballot count. This will help with your employee retention. Just ask that person 3 questions this week. Are you ready? First, what is the last meaningful decision you made without asking for approval. That is not a test. It's a signal. And if they can't remember, the system may be holding too much authority at the top. So that's number one. Second, what if you stopped bringing up because it no longer felt worth the effort? Don't defend the process and do not solve it immediately. Just listen. Their answer may show you where energy is leaking, and that's something you can fix. Third, and this one's my favorite, okay? If you own this company for one day, what would you change before noon? If you own this company for one day, what would you change before noon? And then act on it within 72 hours. Just one thing, not everything, one thing. That creates proof, and it creates ownership. And proof and ownership rebuild trust faster than a speech. Recognition is a compliment. Authority is a commitment. Your best people don't need you to be perfect. They just need to know their judgment matters. And that's how you create engaged, loyal employees. This is the work I care about. I help CEOs redesign what's happening around them so decisions move, leaders lead, and the company stops depending on one exhausted leader. Because most CEOs are not the problem. They're often carrying the problem. And there is a huge difference. So ask yourself, who's gotten quieter? That's a clue. What might they have stopped telling you? And what's one small change that would show them it's still worth speaking up? If a face came to mind, DM me quiet. I'll send you the ballot count. And 3 places organizations lose momentum were their strongest people first. And I'm sharing that through Sunday. Then this episode tool goes into the vault because I will be traveling again. So don't forget to come back and join me next Wednesday from the road. And don't forget to comment, like, and share. I'm Lisa G. Thank you so much for joining me, whether you're here live or on the replay. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful summer.